Hi everyone, I'm Shaheen from The Content Mix, and I'm excited to be here with Porto-based Ricardo Pereira, Head of Marketing and Communications for EMEA at FRICON, which is a company from Portugal that specializes in freezing and chilling equipment. Thanks so much for joining us, Ricardo.
Hello, Shaheen. Thank you so much for having me and for the invitation. I'm thrilled.
Yeah, really excited to have you and excited to have someone from a really different industry that we haven't really covered before. But yeah, maybe you can just start out by introducing yourself a bit in your own words. Tell us a bit about yourself and your background.
My background is a multi-sectorial, really. I have a background on services and franchising, B2C, retail promotion and brand activation. And in the last years on manufacturing, exportation and internationalization processes.
Mm-hmm. And how is what you do related to content marketing? How is content played into your roles?
Yeah, this is it's not that difficult. Marketing today will be associated always with a great story. So content will be really engaged to the audience, regardless the type of business. Every business have a story to tell. So every business, in my opinion, have content to share. So people buy brands. Brands are the emotional part of the business. So I believe brands can tell great stories. Digital channels are facilitating this process. So nowadays, with the sort of channels that we have available today, we can create and should create content to engage more our audiences and make better relationships. So,
definitely. So now I wanted to ask about how did you get interested in marketing in the first place? What drew you to the profession?
Yeah. Look, in college, really, my first option wasn't marketing. Was my second choice. My first choice was management. But since my first experiences, I have been close and linked with people, business, opportunity development, promotion, communication. So marketing, in a way, was all time. From the first place. Was not my first choice in college, but I have developed my career always in marketing.
Mm-hmm. And how did you end up in the manufacturing world and at FRICON?
Well, really, as I have developed a multi-sectorial background, I always seek to develop new experiences and engage with new opportunities. So I am in the manufacturing industry in the last 7 years. I really believe that industry and manufacturing, exportation are a lot of potential. So normally it's it's not very sexy at the first point, but is so vast territory that we can do a lot of things and new things and be really innovative. So I looked to this sector. It was a great opportunity for me, and I had some international experience, but I was looking for to develop international business. So exporting manufacturing is the place to be. We work today with more than 100 countries, and this is a very challenge in, for instance, content and other marketing variables. So yeah, if you want to do different things, this is a very great area because there's a lot to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Lots of room for creativity, right?
Yeah.
So could you tell us about your role now and what's your responsibilities and what's your day-to-day like at work?
My daily routine is the strategic coordination by the Portuguese, Spanish and Brazilian marketing teams. We are present, physical presence in 2 factories in Portugal, 1 Spanish business unit, and in Brazil with another very large factory. So We are physically in these three markets, in these three countries. And from these three countries, we manage our business geographically for Latin markets, North American markets, European markets, African markets, Asian, and New Zealand and Australia. So we have interesting business organization, and my business here, my role is coordinate the marketing teams. Actually, I am the coordinator from Latin and EMEA markets. And most of all, our team is responsible for communication areas, offline, online, inside and outside of the company. So we develop also new business channels, and we are closely connected with all business teams. So yeah, we have a very relevant role. Because we do the integration to the market, to the data from the market, and creating added value insights for the company. And this is a flow bi-directional, because we do it from the company to the market. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Lots to do.
So could you tell us more about your target audience and the channels that you use to reach those audiences, and maybe how those have changed recently, this year being a unique one last year?
Our main target are food retail brands and retailers. So we work a lot with brands, food retail brands, ice cream brands, frozen food brands, and most of retailers. This is our core business right now, the food retail. In recent years, we moved from the contest below the line, and we are talking about it a little bit earlier. But this sector in the last years, and the challenge are increasing. So if retailers are focused in experience, customer experience, and we are part of this value chain, we must be more sensitive to these questions, and we need to work on this path. Earlier, our business was a very technical business. We are regarding an industrial patchwork relationship with retailers, but forwards, we seek to understand better the customer experience, and retailers defied us to develop new strategies within to engage more on the point of sale.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But in terms of channels, I imagine you're doing more digital marketing over the past year. How do you reach your target audience? Which
well, the traditional channels are maintained. Okay, trade fairs are a very important channel for us, and from the last year, it's all changed. So we have virtual events. We had the physical event the last year with our partners, local partners. But really, from the last 2-3 years, the digital channels and digitalization was a very, very important achievement for us. Because unfortunately for all of us, but fortunately for our strategy, Shaheen, the last year, 2020 and 2021, are validated very well our strategy, because we are be able to engage our targets, our channels, and we have be able to deconstruct some preconceived ideas. And we have the fortune to start this process in an early stage. So we have been matured when we have to put it on all tips on all ships on this, and was very important. So it's challenging, but we have the appropriate institutional line. But in spite of that, we have a very unique, challenging DNA. So which allow us to take some calculated risks and allow us to differentiate ourselves and communicate with a differentiated tone and we have made this in the last years. Okay, we did not hide or hide ourselves, our brand, our business in the last years. We kept in constant contact with the market and keep our relationships alive with our partners. And this consistent activity raise new levels of confidence with our partners in a 360 degrees way. So more and more people identifies itself with our message. We are humans to communicate with humans, with a positive and realistic communication. And this is very cool. This is very cool. It's like our brand signature. So
it's kind of, you've been forced to figure out new ways to connect with people, and that's like been positive, actually. Yeah. Cool. So what's an example of a campaign or a piece of content that's worked really well for you?
It's not easy. It's not a easy answer. It's not easy to choose a campaign or material, giving the amount of materials that we produce for a B2B company and a manufacturing company. Wherever I will say that in terms of multi-channel campaign, I will point it the Euroshop 2020. That was one of the most challenging campaigns for our team. It was an offline-online campaign, and still resonates today. It's great because we have this feedback from our partners and our trade fair visitors that maybe this is a 3 years event, three annual event, and took place precisely in the pre-lockdown weeks in Europe and world. And this is like the last time that the market feel us physically. So it resonates till today. In terms of materials, Shaheen, and those that make really our team eyes shine, I'm sure, is when we are able to work on our and real-time marketing associated to our context, which is very, very challenging. But it's like everybody eyes shine when we have an opportunity to play with your brand, our brand, and on a real-time market. We produce, develop equipments from refrigeration, so it's great. It's very interesting phenomenon here.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you about tone of voice, because I actually noticed a lot of your marketing assets are very like playful and colorful. Yeah. And so what was the idea behind that, and why did you decide to take that approach?
Well, we have some challenges. First of all, and this is a very interesting challenge. We cannot communicate in the same way in Latin America and Europe. And we cannot communicate in the same way to Portugal and Spain, and we are neighbors. So this is a dynamic exercise. This is being local, I think, is the key. So it's hard work and demanded work, but in the middle term, and it's the way to establish brands, consolidated basis, and ensure that we have build a long-lasting relationships. Our brand signature, it's a cooling life. So we have opened the scope from this concept, and we have given to him a wide range view from it. So we really can play with something or with a signature that could be very focused, and in the same time could be very wide range. So we have different channels, and we adjust their tone to these objectives.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So like kind of the level of playfulness might vary from one market to the next. I mean, like one approach, because some of the more, or do you use humor like across the board, but you have to adapt the humor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And really the content, and this is a very dynamic challenge, the content must be adjusted to different markets, not just in geographic questions, but in segment question. So this is like a Rubik cube, you know, that we play every day to improve our engagement and engage more and better with our audiences. And it's a very funny and a very interesting exercise.
Mm-hmm, definitely. So speaking of like adapting to different markets, how do you actually do that? Do you have like local people in the markets, or who's actually adapting the messages?
As I said before, we developed the main strategy, and for instance, from Latin markets, we work within our Brazilian team, and so we have a very local insights with our agencies or our agents, for instance. So we can really make this like almost like a surgery. Surgery. It's and then we test it. So we need to test it. So we can develop the best strategy from ever. But if you cannot test it, if you not go to find results, you will fail. I can assure you, you will fail. But you will also learn. So this risk capability, this experimentation, this measure, this analytics, it's very, very useful for this content development.
And then I was curious if how much you're using social media. How does that play into your strategy?
4 years ago, we didn't have social media. We didn't. And there is very interesting, this question, because there are a internal study from advisory company, and was written that social media cannot be at our strategy. And I was very shocked about that, really. And I discussed this with our business team and our marketing team, communications team, and why this. How come it is possible, this kind of assessment? What is the data that give us this information? So we made a pet project, very outside pet project, and then we make it, test it, fail it, and really the social media grow a lot in the last years, and was one of the digital channels for us, very important in the last year and this year. Because Shaheen, you use it. You use digital platforms, social media apps. A lot of people use it in the daily basis. So if you are in a business where people are, because our customers are people like me and you. So if we are in these channels, we will impact them. So we have improved our social media strategy in the last 3 years. It was a very little pet project in back 2017 and 2018, grow a lot in 2080 and 90, was mature in the last year. So it was great. At this point we can say that the content creation and social media and being in social media, it's not just a positive way for our brand awareness. It's converting business right now. It's completely mad. When in the last year we opened at least one market and one new market by social media. It comes from here. Okay, it's one market. We are developing business in this market. It was Instagram. It's completely ridiculous. Our Instagram B2B channel, and was it was a cool way to engage our client. So the client saw us and, okay, this makes sense for me. as potential business developer, this makes sense. I am engaged with this brand. I am engaged with this solution. I am engaged with the way, the mood. So yes, we have at least one new market from our portfolio that definitely was opened by social media. And if I had this conversation with some colleagues, and everybody says, Ricardo, this is completely ridiculous. Yes, it is, but it's possible. So it's a very powerful channel. Our social media, for instance, it's very, it's not just brand awareness. It's bring us business. It bring business to our partners, our local partners.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. That's super cool that you have like a concrete example of that, because
cool.
Yeah, it can be difficult to measure sometimes the results from content marketing and social media. But yeah, if it resulted in a deal, then you know it's working.
The great deal here is digital marketing gave us and could give from B2B businesses and manufacturing, for instance, new tools of measuring. So in traditional marketing, what can you measure? Very little. Very few variables you can measure. But with digital tools, you can measure a lot. So we can measure the cause and effect, because I love this. I love making this merge, because we have the traditional give us a very relational mindset and opportunities, but really we can activate your brand easily today. Yes, there are very channels, there are very buzz, but if you do good work, a very consistent work, we will have results.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Kind of goes to my next question about like, what do you think some companies get wrong when it comes to content or social media marketing? What mistakes do people make?
I think really there are two things. My experience tells me is that either the organization does not perceive the value by, for instance, culture or mindset or whatever, another variable, or the marketing professional, the marketing team, the communications team do not have the capability to know his internal client. So therefore, they do not have the ability to influence the company to try it, at least. And the responsibility, I think, it lies with both parties. On the other hand, there must be openness by the company, and we have that lucky. On the other hand, the marketing and communications team it's necessary to sell this concept. So if you have the two aligned, will be probably a success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's a good point. Well, I was curious, like, what's your favorite social media channel?
I love LinkedIn. It's a great place to make business. It's a great place to make business. Personally, I don't like so much Instagram, but Instagram gives us business, so I'm completely in love. Definitely Twitter and Facebook are major and very, very strong social media. So I love LinkedIn. It's so much potential there.
Absolutely, especially for B2B, and it's actually evolved. Yes, it's evolved so much over the years.
It's great.
Definitely. So I wanted to ask you, what skills do you think are most important for marketers these days?
Not just for marketers. I think professionals in a global way. Good interpersonal skills, definitely. Long-term learning, analytical and ability to close the analytic skills to creativity, because we have to be creative to solve complex problems. So creativity for me is not a good picture or good image. It's more than that. It's solve problems. There is a problem. We are not. How can we solve this? I think the risk capability, the experimentation skills, focus on analytics, it's very important for marketing professionals right now. Being different, involve, and be an evolutionary actor. I think really that the marketing professionals right now have the great opportunity to really put on practice all the theory that is making change happen. So if you have, I believe in that. If you really have these features or these skills, you have a great probably to success yourself professionally and personally.
Absolutely. So I wanted to move to some of your recommendations and tips, your personal recommendations. First of all, do you have any tips on productivity tips or hacks?
Yes, I have, really. Wake up early. Don't go to bed too late. Know your brain. This is not for everybody, but if you understand your brain, your body, you will be more productive. And it's like being a marketing professional or professional all around. Don't be afraid. Try it at least. And if it fail, do it again. You don't like to wake up early? Try it. Try it from 1 month and learn from it. It's better for you or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, worth a try.
Yeah, worth a try, I think.
Definitely. And then who's a professional role model or a source of inspiration?
Well, I don't have just one really role model. In terms of work ethics, I will say my parents, definitely. And I have my mentors, people who have helped me and continue to help me to develop myself professionally and personally, not only in my company, but in those I have been there before and institutions where I studied. So I consider myself, this is awkward, but I consider myself an hybrid, an work in progress. So working all day on improvement.
Awesome. And do you have a favorite marketing or business book to share?
Yeah, lately I have a special passion from. It's not lately, really. It's a long lasting passion. It's neuromarketing. I am from management, but with a very human sciences background. So people, psychology, it's areas, scientific areas that I find very interesting. So lately I am studying more about neuromarketing because I'm fascinated with the brain and people. So it's not really new, but I'm investing some time right now. I normally would say that a marketing professional should study at least 1-2 hours a day. Not every day. We are not crazy. Please rest at the weekends. Your brain will appreciate it. But one of the books in this area is FRICON from Roger Dudley. I find it very interesting, and I will not make any disclosure because I hate it. Yeah. I will recommend FRICON. I think most of us will love some of the questions featured on the book. Really.
Yeah, awesome. Definitely have to check that one out.
Tell me later.
Cool. And then any software tools or apps that you've discovered recently?
Well, unfortunately, I use too many. Yeah. Really, I'm in detox process. I think the questions of quarantine and the lockdown put a very digital framework on everybody. This is great for business and brands and very challenging because it is great for one hand, in the other hand, we very quickly find out ourselves struggled with new challenges. I personally, I have find myself on this paradox. So I am on the detox process. This phenomenon is very important for me. I do not use mobile phone at home after working hours, and I have with my family limited the space for use of devices on the weekend because we want to engage more each other. And I can read a book with my son, and he's reading a book. I read a book. I can play more if I have not the device on my hand. It's a very important professional tool for me. But if I have it in my hand, I cannot be able to engage better with my family, with my son. I will not be here. Okay. I will not play really with him, and I think we need to find this balance from the software tools, apps, technology, which I'm completely in love, and the ability to switch off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
very
not
important.
It's not easy.
Yeah, no. They're addictive. The technology is addictive.
Yeah, they are very well designed with this purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I just want to ask if you have any other recommendations on resources for marketers, whether it's digital events or in person, but yes, in the future, or communities, podcasts.
Mm-hmm. I think in a global way, most of us will drink the information from, I don't know, 10, 20 different founts. But I have founded a very interesting event. It's the major event in Europe from management and marketing. It occurs almost 14 years and is here in Portugal with almost normally before pandemics, 5,000 visitors in this event with, I don't know, dozens of first level speakers. And this KSP Summit will be this year. The motto is facing the oh no. So I definitely will be there. I hope will be physical event. Maybe not. Will be a digital event. But I will invite you for being there.
Awesome.
It will be great. I have some little bird told me that will be great.
Great. Definitely check it out. And hopefully we'll have an excuse to go to Portugal. Yeah, it'll be great. Well, so we're reaching the end of the interview. So just wanted to ask if you have any final advice or takeaways for other marketers.
I think the advice I have put it on before. Is don't be afraid. Try it, fail it, do it again. Don't be afraid. Try it, fail it, do it again. Don't expect the world to give you the opportunity. The world will not give you the very perfect opportunity that I find myself often with some new marketing professionals, and I normally the advice is, you can create your own opportunities. So go create it. There will be opportunities. There will be challenges. But you can create, and you will create your own opportunities. So this is the advice from someone just starting out now.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Try it, fail it, and do it again.
That's great advice and a great note to end on. And just before we wrap up, for anyone who wants to know more about you or about what you do at FRICON, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Find me at my LinkedIn profile. Send me a message. I will answer you, definitely.
Okay, perfect. We'll include the link to your LinkedIn on the blog post that goes along with this episode. Well, it's been great. So thank you so much, Ricardo, for sharing your insights with us.
Thank you so much. I hope it been useful. I want to thank you, Shaheen, about your amazing work with the Very Content platform. I didn't know it before, your invitation in the last year, but I am a huge fan, and I can assure that new marketing professionals, please follow it. Will be great for you. So many insights, so many knowledge sharing for free. Awesome job.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate the shout out. And yeah, awesome that we have a fan. So thank you again, Ricardo.
You have a lot of fans.
Yeah,
I can assure you.
Definitely. So we're looking forward to staying in touch in the community, in the Content Mix and Vera Content community. And yeah, thanks again for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me and for the invitation.
Thank you. And thank you everyone else for listening in. For more perspectives on content marketing, check out veracontent.com/mix, as Ricardo suggested, and keep tuning into the podcast for more interviews with experts. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.